大家好，歡迎收睇熒幕八爪魚。嗱，講到化妝啦，唔同嘅女仔都會有自己嘅獨特見解嘅。但係講到上鏡嘅妝容呢，其實都係留翻俾一啲專業人士會比較好啲嘅。而今集嘅 MCVP on your mark 呢，我哋就同大家一齊嚟到睇一睇一班變裝之後煥然一新嘅佳麗究竟有幾 charm。
MCVP on your mark。
光彩傾城，風華再現 reignite。好多女生都識得化妝，而要有一個完美嘅妝容呢，先要從保養皮膚做起。至於點樣做先係正確嘅護膚步驟呢？美容專家就針對佳麗們嘅膚質狀況，制定唔同嘅護膚方案，詳細咁樣講解護膚嘅好處、效果等等。而且專家亦都係超細心咁做足功課，仔細研究佳麗們嘅輪廓，務求係畫出最適合佢哋嘅妝容。哇！佳麗們又學到新嘢啦！果然參選華者受益良多，而喺電視機前面嘅你哋都有機會獲得500蚊嘅獎品添。因為嚟緊有個美容角誰是冠軍競猜遊戲，估中邊位佳麗係冠軍又被抽中就有機會得獎。密切留意溫哥華華裔小姐競選2022嘅官網，遲啲就有參加詳情㗎啦！記得留意住我哋 MCVP on your mark， 一齊贏大獎啦！ViuTV 嘅戀愛綜藝《戀愛 Staycation》被譽為港版嘅雙層公寓，一班單身男女共處一屋，朝夕相見2個禮拜，參與唔同嘅活動，例如船 P、露營、豪華晚宴舞會等等，仲可以同心儀對象單獨約會，為求真愛，大家都出盡渾身解數啊！最後得到嘅係友情、愛情，抑或係無疾而終呢？記得鎖定10月22號新時代電視2台《戀愛 Staycation》。另外 ，TVB 劇集《刑偵日記》講述多年前為英雄飾演嘅楊碧心，因為精神分裂而差啲毒死一對仔女。亞仔葉勁鋒受驚過度，分裂咗新嘅人格朱基，並成為筆跡同心理剖繪專家，加入特案組破解多宗懸案。作為刑事偵緝檔案系列嘅劇集，今次一改風格，圍繞唔同嘅心理病患者，同大家玩心理捉伊恩。新時代電視1台19號起，星期1至5記得收睇啦。最近喺溫哥華美術館就有一個關於加拿大各地女性藝術家嘅展覽 Uninvited Canadian Women Artists in the Modern Moment。 展覽主要圍繞喺20至40年代嘅女性畫家、攝影師、織工、珠工同埋雕塑家嘅作品。除咗廣為人熟悉嘅 Emily Carr， 仲有嚟自各省區加拿大女性藝術家嘅作品，記錄20世紀前半期不斷喺度改變嘅加拿大。
So the group of 7 really kind of retreated from modernity. So they really retreated into the landscape and into this concept of wilderness, where the women artists in this show, I think, really engage with the modern period in terms of they look at urbanization, they look at the human experience, they look at cities, communities, and also indigenous material culture. So they really engaged with the human experience in Canada during the modern period from the 1920s through to the 1940s. So this is one of my favorite pieces. It's Prudence Heward's At the Theatre, and Women at the Theatre is kind of a staple of modern art, and I really enjoy this perspective Prudence Heward offers. You're seated as if you're behind these women who are waiting for this performance to start. And I like this idea that it's all about looking and being seen. So these are really modern women, jazz-age women who are consumers of culture at the theater. They are there to see and be seen, but also as a viewer, you are offered a unique perspective.
女性嘅地位喺2戰時期先至慢慢開始有所提升，唔想再戴住有色眼鏡去看待女性。其中一個重要嘅方法就係將以前淹沒喺歷史洪流嘅作品攞出嚟俾大家見到。
There are probably over 200 artworks in this exhibition. They're all so unique and different and diverse. Every room, there's probably a favorite artwork of mine, and it sort of changes throughout the exhibition. I really enjoy a lot of the paintings, Prudence Heward's paintings. They're really bold. There's this kind of electric feeling between intensity between the viewer and the sitters in the painting. There's also some really exquisite objects, such as these porcupine quill boxes. There's these amazing baskets here. Again, this idea of discovery of all these fantastic women working across so many media that are perhaps unknown working during this pivotal period of Canadian art.
女性藝術家嘅創造力並不亞於男性藝術家㗎，所以如果想係更全面咁樣認識加拿大嘅歷史嘅話，咁就唔好錯過呢個展覽啦。展出時間會一直持續到明年1月份。有興趣嘅記得瀏覽以下網址啦。人生路上咧，難免會遇到好多困難嘅，乃至乎係賽事等等啦。想要避免重複犯錯咧，咁就要認識歷史咯。最近喺 UBC 嘅人類學博物館咧，就有一個關於反思現今社會嘅政治啦，乃至係個人問題嘅展覽啦。想知道展覽嘅主題同內容講啲咩呢？展覽名絕對係初步了解嘅好方法嚟嘅。你哋又知唔知道 Chicanx 係乜嘢嚟嘅呢？
The exhibition is in English and Spanish. It's a bilingual exhibition. And the X's are important because they signal a certain kind of understanding. The X at the beginning is a ch sound that's drawn from an indigenous language, Nahuatl. And the X at the end is a signal to Spanish, which is a gendered language, like many languages in the world. So a Chicano is a male, a Chicana is a female. By making it an X, a Chicanx, it's inclusive of any identities. So it was a deliberate use. It's a little bit more of a political statement and a social inclusive statement. It was a strategy that we used in the title to be inclusive. So the Dreamers then is about why do people move to another country? What is the pursuit of different opportunities and a better lifestyle or more economic growth? So there's a dreamers in the sense of the movement of peoples around the world, but particularly from Mexico into the United States. But there's also another term where there's been a classification of people who are undocumented, who live in the United States, and they're classified as dreamers if they're children. So the exhibition Dreamers has those multiple layers, but then twinned with changemakers. So you can dream the world, but then who's acting to change it? So for Greta de Leon and myself, the choice of the artists in the exhibition is because they're both. They dream of a different kind of future, and they're acting towards it.
嗱，睇咗一陣都唔難發現啦，展覽咧係想用藝術呢一個途徑咧去接觸美國政治同社會嘅現實狀況，尤其係奇卡諾民權運動呢一個重要嘅歷史里程碑，而呢啲作品就成為當時藝術家嘅情緒出口啦。你哋又感唔感受得到呢？
For Greta and myself, we chose the work because all the work here I think is powerful and has really strong meanings, but they also sort of talk to each other. So I'm standing in front of Justice for Our Lives by Ori Original, but I'm facing a painting that's called The El Paso Massacre and No Hate, No Fear by Roberto Gonzalez. They're two works of art by two very different artists, both talking about very disturbing, painful situations of murder and death. But when we look at El Paso Massacre and the No Hate, No Fear painting, he's showing us that there is hate and that there's fear in the world of others, people who look different than you do, but then where you have two hands coming together and as if that the pain can be overcome, that we have to acknowledge the harm and the pain, but there's always some hope.
知古鑑今正正就係歷史嘅存在意義之一。大家可以由即日起到出年嘅1月1號到 UBC 人類學博物館嗰度睇展覽啦。嗱，記錄嘅方法咧有好多種嘅，而藝術咧就係其中一個方法。展覽 Stan Douglas 集合咗2011年世界各地唔同地方嘅示威場面啦。
Stan Douglas was interested in the events of 2011 and why there was so many disparate but sympathetic protests, riots around the world during that year, beginning, of course, with the Arab Spring in North Africa and in the Middle East. The Occupy movement erupted in Manhattan and then spread also globally, as well as the riots that happened in the United Kingdom in the aftermath of the killing of Mark Duggan, and then symptomatically, another riot here in his hometown of Vancouver after Vancouver Canucks lost the Stanley Cup final in June. So it was a year of upheaval around the world, and stand found in those events comparative to the year 1848 when riots erupted around Europe. So he thought to make a work that spoke to the similarities and some of the dissimilarities. The idea for the video installation, which pairs two pairs of rappers in London, grime artists in London and two artists in Cairo, emerged out of the music that some of the protesters might have been listening to in each of those cities during that year. Grime has often been called the soundtrack of the revolutions in the United Kingdom, and Maharaganat, which is music that many young folks in Egypt were listening to concurrently during the Arab Spring. What might have happened if two artists in London and two artists in Cairo collaborated across distances between cities on making music together? So that's what the video installation ISDN is really about.
大家又覺唔覺得，即使係睇緊照片啊，都好似咧可以係紀錄片咁，清楚咁樣知道呢一件嘅歷史事件呢？
Stan is making history paintings in some sense. They're photographs, but they're pictures of a very specific moment in time. And there's a great deal of historical accuracy in how he wanted to picture these events, these four events that happened in 2011. So easy enough to take a photograph of a place that still looks like what it might have looked like in 2011, but to recreate a big image, a big event from 2011 required staging actors. So it's very much like making a movie in some sense. You're making an historical drama. In this sense, it's one picture, not a film.
展覽會持續到11月6號，有興趣嘅記得把握時間啦。同其他地方相比啦，2011年嘅溫哥華示威事件咧，其實已經係唔算嚴重㗎啦。咁但係正因為發生喺我哋屋企啦，大家都不妨咧可以去睇一睇，究竟同記憶當中係有冇分別嘅。講開又講啦，萬聖節又準備嚟咯，唔知道你哋喺多倫多有冇買啲南瓜嚟到係應下節呢？即刻將時間交俾你啊 ，Cynthia。
係啊 ，Stephen， 好似我呢啲超有儀式感嘅人，梗係要去應下節啦。所以陣間就會帶大家去農場南瓜盛會，千祈唔好行開。廣告返嚟，我哋繼續熒幕八爪魚。2022多倫多華裔小姐競選嘅旅程已經過咗一半，一班佳麗亦都收穫多多。最近佢哋就參與咗官方宣傳片嘅拍攝，換個方式介紹自己。每年多倫多華裔小姐競選嘅幕後團隊都會為候選佳麗度身打造宣傳片，為咗佳麗可以有最好嘅表現，由燈光到道具再到拍攝，每一步都經過工作人員嘅細心準備。宣傳片喺大多倫多地區唔同地點取景拍攝，影片嘅故事以佳麗自身經歷為藍本，一班佳麗都係第一次擔正做女主角，下錄 NG 就在所難免㗎啦。導演以及幕後團隊不斷為佳麗提供意見，幫助佢哋有更好嘅表現。萬事起頭難，不過習慣之後，一班佳麗嘅拍攝都相當順利啊！每一條宣傳片嘅背後，除咗要有出色佳麗嘅表現，仲要多謝幕後工作人員嘅付出。官方宣傳片好快會喺新時代電視各大平台睇到㗎啦，記得留意最新消息，先睹為快啊！感人嘅故事歷久常新，一個社區嘅傳統都經得起時間嘅考驗㗎。旺市嘅 Woodbridge Fair 今年已經有175年歷史，係幾代社區居民珍貴嘅集體回憶嚟㗎。農業係加拿大經濟嘅重要支柱，每年嘅秋季，唔同地區以及城鎮都會舉辦屬於自己嘅農業博覽會，展出地區最自豪嘅產品。旺市 Woodbridge 地區嘅農業博覽會 Woodbridge Fair 由1847年開始舉辦，係區內嘅年度盛事。
The Woodbridge Fair started as the West York Agricultural Society, so many fairs started back in the mid-1800s, because it was very important. Agriculture was the biggest industry in the province, and it was important that farmers got a chance to show their cattle and show their vegetables and help to improve farming and agriculture. And we are carrying on that tradition in a different way because we're a very urban community now. We're more into educational type things. So you can go and watch a sheep being sheared, you can see the giant pumpkins, and you can learn about the history of farming. We have an amazing farm display with old farm equipment and so on. So it's more of an educational thing now.
講返今年嘅活動，重點當然係各種同農業相關嘅項目啦。附近嘅農夫每年都會參與 Woodbridge Fair 嘅農產品比賽，展出自己過去一年嘅收穫。除此之外，呢度仲有動物農場以及巨型南瓜比拼，為遊客帶嚟豐富嘅農業資訊同埋體驗。
This is our 175th year, so we're very excited. We did have a fair last year, but we missed the year before because of COVID. So we're glad to have things back full on this year. So our buildings are open and lots of other activities going on. So this year we have the horse and wagon rides back again. We have the community building back again. And we've got our old favorites, the dog show, the giant pumpkin contest, lots of rides, games, fun fair food. Brampton Batman will be here. We have a car show today. So there's lots of things going on. So we're very excited. It's a real community event. So it's a lot of volunteers, a lot of work and effort by a dedicated group of people who are proud to carry on the tradition of, as I said, 175 years.
舊傳統新活動構成旺市社區居民嘅集體回憶。出年嘅農業展覽又會有咩新變化？我哋暫時未知。不過肯定嘅係，活動會繼續回歸，繼續為大家發送歡樂啊！圓碌碌嘅南瓜係秋天嘅標誌，大南瓜震撼，小南瓜同樣可愛。多倫多周邊嘅農場每年都會舉辦南瓜盛會，邀請市民一齊分享豐收嘅快樂。位於 Caledon 嘅一間家族式經營農場，每年都會舉辦南瓜節。呢度除咗南瓜海洋，仲有各種活動，適合一家大細一齊參與。
Pumpkin Fest starts from September 17th until October 31st. As you can see, we have tons of pumpkins and tons of fun. We have even more entertainment this year with up to 4 shows happening on weekends. We have our new ropes course, which we're very excited about, and all of the favorites like our wagon ride, the jumping pillows, pedal carts, the skeleton band, the boo barn. Lots of fun here for everybody.
除咗活動多樂樂，農場嘅背後同樣有段古噃。由1920年開始，呢個215英畝嘅農場一直由丹尼家族經營。1987年，農場主人第一次喺路邊開設銷售粟米嘅攤位。負責賣粟米嘅係農場主人嘅5個仔女，佢哋希望為冬天嘅曲棍球設備籌集更多資金。一年又一年，農場嘅經營範圍不斷擴大。而當初企喺路邊賣粟米嘅5個豆丁，都已經長大成人，為人父母。佢哋繼續喺農場工作，服務附近社區，希望有更多人可以認識呢度。
So we have about 10,000 pumpkins behind me on the front lawn, and then of course we have thousands of other different kinds of pumpkins, like our specialty pumpkins, pie pumpkins, mini guys, cannonball pumpkins, ghosts. We have lots of varieties here. So like I mentioned, we have more entertainment than ever here at Pumpkin Fest. We have our famous pumpkin donuts, and we're baking up fresh pies every single day. We have lots of food areas outside, and skeleton band, the boo barn, the straw jump, lots for everybody.
每年嘅唔同節日，呢度都會有各種慶祝活動。農場每日嘅經營時間為早上9點到下午5點。登錄佢哋嘅官方網站，就可以知道當日有咩特別節目等緊大家㗎啦。跳舞係最自由嘅藝術，舞蹈可以不限形式，更加可以不限場地。最近雖然天氣轉涼， 不過一班武林高手嘅熱情反而更加高漲喎。Common Ground Dance Festival 誕生於疫情期間，係多倫多其中一個新開設嘅舞蹈活動。活動由市內一間非牟利藝術機構舉辦，目的係為咗令市民對現代舞蹈藝術有更加多嘅認識。
Common Ground Dance Festival is a celebration of movement and community. It's a part of the Arts in the Parks series by Toronto Arts Foundation, and we are offering free workshops and free dance performances in the park. So we have two separate performance programs. One is a pop-up performance program, which happens all around the park in different areas, and there are 3 different works that are a part of that program. And then at 7 o'clock, we have a series of performances on our main stage, which is right behind me over here. And that features 8 different pieces, which includes professional artists and also student groups from the area.
喺主舞台嘅表演開始之前，場地唔同區域都有快閃式嘅舞蹈演出。呢個表演名為 Slow， 節奏慢，動作更加慢。佢哋利用舞蹈同城市急速嘅生活作對比，探討慢節奏背後嘅哲學。另一場表演 ，Dancer 以舞蹈以及戲劇形式帶大家遊走公園不同角落。
Hosting an event outdoors is obviously a little bit challenging because of the weather. Like today, it's a little bit chilly. It's been raining a little bit, but we're hoping that it's going to hold off. The beautiful thing about working outdoors is that, there's fresh air. We have the green of the trees and the grass and the big blue sky above us, at least little bits of blue today. And that this is, a public space. So putting art into the public sphere is really important to us. It's a part of our mission as Toes for Dance. It means that we're creating closer connections between community members who live in the area and some of the fantastic artists who also work in this city. It's very exciting to me that someone could just walk through the park on a normal walk that they would do every day and actually encounter something new and surprising and inspiring through our programming.
入黑之後，主舞台嘅表演正式開始。Dancer 冒雨為在場所有觀眾帶嚟精彩演出，同時收穫大家嘅鼓勵以及掌聲。可以參與今次嘅活動，一班 Dancer 都表示非常榮幸啊！同時希望到場嘅觀眾可以好似佢哋一樣，享受舞蹈帶嚟嘅快樂。
I mean, it's really amazing to see a community come together again. Like even just having the group of artists who are a part of the program this year come together and share some inspiration. It's really heartwarming, and it really feels like this is what we've been waiting for, in a sense, a moment to reconnect and a moment to be with each other and to experience art together.
10月24日係安省市選投票日。各位選民準備好未啊？加拿大中文電台 AM1430 投票日之前10月17日至21日，連續5日，早上陽光早晨以及傍晚時事全接觸節目內會有安省市選知多少特備環節。投票日早上9點開始，會有票站直擊，當晚6點20分至9點有特備節目安省市選速遞。請緊貼 AM1430 加拿大中文電台 Fairchild Radio Toronto Facebook Live 同埋 Fairchild Radio App 了解市選資訊以及直擊投票日實況啦。除咗市選，我哋將會繼續同大家追蹤多倫多嘅各大事件。Stephen 而家先將時間交翻俾你啦。
辛苦晒你啦 ，Cynthia！ 大家記得到時咧盡公民嘅責任，早啲起身去投票咯。嗱，大家想知道有啲咩好玩嘅，記得下個星期繼續黐住我哋熒幕八爪魚啦。拜拜。